Swing and a drive.
Welcome to Red, White, and Blue Jays, the podcast home of Blue Jays Fans UK, a group connecting Blue Jays fans around the UK and beyond, and telling their story. And now, here's the host of Red, White, and Blue Jays, Steve Hunter.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Red, White, and Blue Jays. I'm really excited that we finally managed to pin down today's guest. It's been, we've had a couple of missed opportunities just because she is so busy. But Crystal, a very warm welcome to the UK and to Red, White, and Blue Jays. How are you doing?
I'm awesome, thanks.
Good. Thanks so much for finding busy time in your schedule. I know, you know, with your business and your family and clearly watching the Blue Jays a lot, you are a busy lady, but I really appreciate you spending some time. I came across your story a little while ago and there was a few things in there I thought I'd love to hear about. So we'll sort of get into some of that in a little while, but just in terms of context, you just give us a little bit about yourself, where you are in Canada, how long you've been supporting the Jays, all those sort of things. Just give us a little bit of intro.
Okay, so right now I'm currently in Brantford, Ontario, and that's about an hour drive from the GTA. Well, if there was no traffic, ideally it would be an hour,
Sure.
But that doesn't happen. So usually about an hour and a half or so it takes me to get to a game. But I was born in Mississauga, and that's how I fell in love with the Jays, because they were local. And I had all brothers growing up, so all my brothers loved the Jays. My grandfather loved the Jays.
Wow.
And then I went to a school and we sang the national anthem before we got selected to sing the national anthem before the game.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
I wish I had the video. I can't remember, but I know it was either 92 or 93. So it would have been one of the years they won.
Yeah.
And I was in grade 5. And
Oh.
yeah, that was the first Blue Jay game I ever went to. So we sang the anthem and then we all got to stay for the game after, and I was hooked.
That's so grade 5. What age is that? Just trying to work out what that
I would have been about, I think, 10 or 11.
Okay. Yeah, so plenty old enough to remember the moment and so on. What was that like? I mean, you presumably had been to see the Jays play before you performed as a choir?
No, that was the first time.
That was your very
ever.
first time.
Yep, that was my first experience ever going to see a game, and we watched it on TV lots. But that was the first time I had ever gone to a game. And honestly, like, the feeling I get when I walk in today is like that same feeling I got when I walked in there all those years ago. And it really does. It feels like home.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, my first visit to see the Jays was in '94. So a couple of years after your debut. And yeah, I clearly I didn't have the experience you had, but for me, it was just, I will never forget that day. I was hooked, and obviously coming from the UK, baseball's such a minority sport here. Although we know about it, it's not played a great deal. And just coming into Skydome as it was then, and still a packed house, as just a brilliant memory. And so from that early experience, you were hooked totally, and then did you sort of continue to go to watch, or was it sort of on TV, and then as you came into adult life that you were able to go to a few more games?
Yeah, so I ended up going to a few more games as a kid whenever somebody was willing to take me. My mom wasn't so much into it, but yeah, I went to a few as a kid. And then I took a little bit of a break. I ended up having my own kids and all that kind of stuff. So I took a couple years off. And 2015, I kind of got sucked back in.
I wonder why.
I know, right? I got that feeling again.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so as you were growing up then, did you play at all sort of through school years? Is it something that, you enjoyed going out and hitting the ball around and catching and stuff, or was it just purely you loved watching it?
Yeah, I never played for school. I was never a school team member, but family, we always loved getting together and playing games with family and friends and that kind of thing. So definitely I played recreationally.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always a lot of fun to play. It's one of those sports that like you don't have to be great at, but you can still get out there and play.
Oh, we love it. We get the mitts out and get a ball out. It's brilliant. You know, we live in Bournemouth, which is on the south coast of England. So we've got 7 miles of sandy beaches, literally 5-minute drive from our house. It's great just to go down and, you know, get the mitt out and do a bit of catch and stuff. It's such a fun thing to do with your family, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially on the beach. That would be amazing.
Yeah. So if you ever come to the UK, come and find us. You're more than welcome to come see us. So you're growing up, you're sort of following the team, and then let's just go into the 2015 arena. Did you get to many games? Did you get to the game? How much did you get to see them in that season?
I didn't get to any of the games that year in 2015. I had just had my youngest daughter, so I was at home with her, and my husband plays softball.
Right.
And so he kind of got me hooked. I'm sure he's very sorry that he created a monster now, but he kind of got me back into it. So I watched a lot at home. And then 2016 is when I really started going to games.
Yeah. Very good.
And I've been to lots since then.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And because in 2016, it was another good year, wasn't it? In terms of how the Jays performed, and just going slightly short of where we'd hoped they might be. Then we had a few lean years in terms of any sort of potential postseason success. And now we're sort of through the pandemic issues as well. How excited are you for our current team?
Oh, it's so exciting. Just everything about it is just so magical. And, you know, it was a rough couple of years watching them break that team apart, because the 2016 team was so good. And, you know, having to like the Kevin Pillar, he was my all-time favorite.
Right.
And I had tickets to go to the game the day he was traded. And he got traded, and I was like, I can't bring myself together. I can't even go. And it's the only time I've ever wasted a Blue Jays ticket. And it was hard to see that all kind of get broken down. But over the last, you know, then we got to see the excitement of them slowly building it up, you know. And for us, my lady only fan group, you know, the way we've treated the team and the way that they've encouraged them has never changed the whole time, right? So there was a lot of losses, but, you know, we handled it with grace, and we seen, you know, you could see the talent was there, and it was just a matter of waiting for it like to all come together.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic took baseball away, that was torture. That was like a very long 670 days.
Oh, you know the number of days. That's impressive.
Yeah, it was really hard. And then, you know, but again, when they came back last year, I was at that home opener too. And the moment they stepped on the field, it was almost like no time had passed, and everything just kind of perfectly aligned the way it was meant to. Sure.
Did you have a fan cutout at Buffalo?
I did. Well, not at Buffalo. No.
Okay.
I ended up getting one at the Rogers Center last year, part of the MVP thing. They did a cardboard cutout, but
I just behind me is my cardboard cutout, which they're very good to send me. They when they did it in Buffalo, that was the 2020 season. They made an offer in terms of willing to send it overseas. So I did it for that year, and then the following year when they did it at the Rogers Center, they were only doing it to sort of Canadian and American residents. So we didn't do it for the second year, but I did get that one. And actually mine was signed by Anthony Bass as well, which was very cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was very pleased by that. So
that was cool. Yeah, they really did a lot to, you know, keep the fans involved during that time. You know, they really did a lot, and like they're just from like the organization to the team, just like all around. They just want to make sure that, you know, the fans, the players, everybody is having a good experience.
Totally. In that pandemic year, how did your family find watching the Jays from afar, not being able to see them in Canada? What was that experience like for you?
it definitely was different, but also it was nice that there was still something that was somewhat familiar, even though they might not have necessarily been at home. At least we still had baseball, and baseball was back. And it really helped get through some of those tough times in that pandemic, just especially having the ladies group, we all had each other. We had people to rely on the whole time. We had people to count on. So, we never really felt alone because we always had the Blue Jays. Even during the off season, we always had like the Blue Jays to bring us together.
Brilliant.
So it was hard, but it was nice at the same time. It did make some stronger friendships.
Totally. I think you're absolutely right. In a year where so many people were struggling because of lockdowns and all the other things that were going on at that time, I think it brought people together in a way that certainly here that we've not seen before. And I think where you've got a common love in terms of following a sports team, I think even more so. Into 2021, were you at the return of the Jays to Rogers Centre for that opening home game?
Yes, I was there.
What was that experience like?
Oh my goodness. There was not many dry eyes in the building.
Yeah.
And I'm not a crier. I know there's no crying in baseball, but
I don't believe it.
There's something about it. Yeah, it was amazing. And, to see, I think we heard how much the team missed us. We were like, yeah, okay, you probably just miss, your comfort of being home somewhat and being in your home ballpark.
Yeah.
But when they came out on the field and to see how happy they were to be there, it was so incredible to see, because it was like, okay, we know we love you, and it's just so nice to see that you love us too.
Yeah. I think the thing I reflect on that particular event was seeing Charlie Montejo and Bo and a couple of the other players in terms of just the emotion on their face at the reception that you guys, and even there was only 15,000 in the ballpark. I think just the relief to be back home, and I think many people, and particularly with this year, with everybody moaning that the COVID rules coming back into Canada from the other teams, I think everybody forgets how hard it has been for the Jays in terms of living out of suitcases for so long, having to cope with playing in Dunedin and obviously Buffalo, and actually having a home game over in LA. It's just been remarkable how they've coped with it. So to see the joy on their faces and the emotion of that moment was fantastic.
It was absolutely incredible. I was there for all 3 games, and I couldn't talk for about a week after because my vocal cords weren't used to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it took a little bit of recuperating after that, because
I'm sure.
fans don't get spring training, right? We just gotta hop in it and go.
Yeah, straight into it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there was a lot of pressure on that team. A lot of people kind of forget that a lot of these players were signed in 2019, and up until last weekend, they had never had a home opener in Canada.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
It's a lot to take into consideration, and to see how well they've handled that pressure, and most of them being so young.
Yeah. No, I think
it's been really cool.
Yeah, it has been absolutely cool. How did you respond on the last day of the 2021 season when they didn't quite get over the line?
It was the craziest day, because that was the day that I had my first pitch. So
was it on that day?
It was the very last game of the season.
I hadn't realized that.
Yeah, so it was a crazy day, full of highs and lows. So I started off with the first pitch, and they played amazing. And actually it was really cool because the Jays let everybody stay, and they aired the game on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
So then we all kind of watched it fall apart. So it was kind of hard walking out of there knowing that the season was over, and it was one game that we were shy. So it was definitely an emotional day, but at the same time, we were just so thankful to have baseball back. I would rather go and see them lose or see them not make it, but we had baseball back, and things, hopefully we're going to be better the next season.
Totally.
So
it
was hard to leave though.
Yeah, no, no, it was a terribly painful day. And I think I phoned into Blair and Barker on that after that game. It was the first time I phoned in, and just sort of expressing, how I was feeling, because I think we can all look back over certain games over that season and think, oh, if we'd only just got that, because there was a lot of one run games that we, particularly in the early part of 2021, which seemed to not quite go our way. And I think, oh, if only one of those had, it'd have been a different story. But I think
I blame the umpires. I don't blame our team.
Yeah, totally. So obviously then that, all eyes focused in terms of the off season, knowing the CBA was coming around the corner and all that sort of stuff. And it wasn't going to happen. And then obviously we're back into baseball now. So let's just spend a couple of minutes in terms of opening day for you. What was it like being back at the ballpark, particularly with all the new light displays and huge screen and all that stuff? What was that like last Friday evening?
So I totally wasn't expecting the lights. I had known about the Jumbotron. We'd been watching that, so I knew that was coming. I didn't know about the lights, but that totally, when they say next level, they definitely went next level. And it just made it such a cooler experience. But it honestly felt like a playoff game or a postseason game, like the way the crowd was just roaring and everybody was just so happy. Like, it was just so good to see people's faces again and to see people smiling again.
Yeah. And
then it was awesome. I was at 2 games and they won both those games.
Yeah.
So I definitely went home happy.
Yeah. Yeah. and certainly the first game, I mean, I think everybody was in a bit of shell shock, going 7-0 down. And, we know the offense is great in this lineup. We know it's strong all the way from 1 to 9. But I think we were all like, I couldn't believe, Brius was taken out so early and suddenly we're going to have to use the bullpen all the way through the game. What was that? What was the crowd? I mean, it's certainly watching it on TV here, it sounded like, obviously it went a little bit quiet after all the amazing opening ceremony. Then that 7-run deficit started to kick in. What was it actually like watching it?
It was intense. It was definitely intense. Time there always seems to go by so much faster than like when you're at home and you're watching it. So it didn't seem like we were down for that long, we really didn't have that much time to get sad, because then boom, right, we were right back in it. Yep. And when they called Tio out at the plate and they did the review, and that they changed a little bit too, because before they used to have another person announce it. Now the actual ump announces it. Yeah. So everyone could get he didn't even have to say anything. We got ready to see his butt, and the crowd, they just went nuts because they had replayed it on the Jumbotron so many times. We all knew. Yeah. So the way the crowd just went nuts, and then you could tell it was like, okay, it's going to be on from here. You can feel it.
Yeah. And I think that's a great addition that they're doing with the umpire calling out because I think it just adds we can hear on the TV broadcast in terms of what they're saying, but of course you guys sitting in the ballpark don't get any of that benefit. So I think, and it just brings momentum to it, doesn't it? And excitement and all those things. And yeah, definitely when that was called safe, it sounded like the whole place erupted.
Oh yeah, everybody went crazy. It was it was so cool.
Very good. Well, we've got lots to be excited about, and I think hopefully by the end of this year we'll be talking about a postseason run, and who knows where it's going to go. I think it's an exciting team to be watching, and it's good time to be a Jays fan. I want to dive then back into this story of the Lady Jays fan club and just find out a little bit about how that started. As I say, I came across your story last year, and just for the benefit of those who are listening in who may not be aware of it, can you just give us a little bit of a backdrop to how that all started and what its hopes and aims are in terms of supporting ladies?
So it started off, a couple of us were in we all just randomly met on Facebook, and we were in a Blue Jays fan group. And, during games, we wanted to chit chat and, talk fun stuff. But at the same time, we cared about, when the players were having babies and what they were doing in their real life. Because, you have to be a good person, not just on the field, right? Just being a good player doesn't always necessarily make you a great team member. And some of the boys in the group just really didn't like that. They didn't like that, we looked at them as more than just players, and they were all just kind of like stats. And we're like, like these guys are human at the end of the day, and it's one loss. We're not going to sit here and cry about it. And we just found that, men could always say what they wanted to say about baseball. But the moment a woman said something about baseball, that's just like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So I was kind of like, I don't like this. And I was like, I'm going to make my own group, and we're going to make it ladies only. And we're going to have fun while we're cheering for the Jays. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about them winning the games.
Yeah.
So I kind of recruited a couple of them and was like, hey, what do you think about this idea? If I did this, would you join? And they're like, yeah, for sure. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So we started off, and there was like 5 or 6 of us, and we left that group, and I started the Lady Jays fan club. And from the beginning, just it almost feels like all of us were brought together like for a greater purpose than just baseball.
Yeah.
And a couple of us, or a couple of people in the group, just came across tough times. One of the ladies was diagnosed with cancer. And she had just moved to out of province, so she didn't have health care. So we got together and we did a GoFundMe account for her.
Wow.
And raised some money for that. And, it feels good to give back, and it feels good to have a greater purpose. And we all connected on that level. So we were like, it's not just going to be about baseball, it's going to be about helping people and just being good people.
Yeah.
So just because there's so many of us that are the same that, got behind me, we were able to do this kind of thing. So then we just kind of started every year at Christmas, we pick a different charity. We all get together, we pool our money together, and we'll either buy toys or donate food or donate the money, depending on what's in need.
Yeah.
And we get together and we watch every baseball game. So I do like a group chat in our group, right, and we chit chat back and forth about the games. And we've done it like every game for the last 6 years.
Wow.
And especially through the pandemic, I think that really helped, a lot of people, because there's a lot of single people, a lot of widowed women, who didn't really have anybody, or a lot of moms like me who just kind of need an outlet outside of being, a mom and a wife.
Yeah.
And it was nice that we had a place where we could just be ourselves and get together and enjoy baseball, but have another purpose as well, and to be able to give back a little bit.
Yeah, it's an amazing story from, just a Facebook group where you're just having, as you say, 4 or 5 of you. And I understand that you're sort of 600 plus members now in your group, which is extraordinary. And just for the benefit of those listening, what we're going to do now is just watch the video that was put together that I found out about you, and that will give a little bit more context. And let's listen to that, and we'll come back to you in a moment.
I'm Jamie Campbell, here for the TD and Blue Jays MVP Spotlight. We're shining that spotlight on Blue Jays fans who embody the true spirit of the game. And this MVP is a perfect example. An advocate who always pitches in to help those in need.
The Lady Jays fan club is a club for people who identify as female, who just want a safe space to enjoy baseball. It started with about like 7 or 8 girls, and now we're at over 600.
There's just some people in the world you just connect with right away. She said, hi, I'm Crystal, and it's just like we were old souls.
We met at one of the games, and it was kind of like a long-lost friend. Crystal's just someone that always makes other people feel really amazing about themselves.
It started with the love of baseball, but then it just ended up turning into so much more. We all had a love for each other, and we just wanted to be able to give back to the community. We started with a homeless shelter in Toronto, and then we've done some stuff for women's shelters and kids' shelters. Just wanted to be able to make a difference for people that needed it.
Her good work even attracted the attention of the Blue Jays dugout.
Hey Crystal, Gavin here. Welcome to the TD and Blue Jays MVP Spotlight. We just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making baseball a more inclusive environment. What you are doing is truly incredible. For myself, the Blue Jays, and TD, a heartfelt thank you. Keep up the amazing work.
Oh, that is awesome. You're welcome. Are you going to send that to me? Okay.
I wouldn't be able to do any of this by myself. It's because these women have joined me and encouraged me that I'm able to do it. One person sometimes can't do a lot, but when you team up with 600 people, something small turns into something very big.
Oh, Crystal, that's an amazing story. I love what I love about your group more than it's just about pure baseball in terms of your friendships and your fellowship, if you like, of the Jays, but you've turned it into something that is willing to give back into your community and to help those who find themselves in a less secure position in life for whatever reason. Do you see the outworking of some of the work that you do in terms of helping people and sort of seeing the end of those stories at all?
Absolutely. You know, we've gone in person and we've like actually dished out the meals to people, and, you know, for them to be like, oh, wow, a bunch of ladies running a baseball group is doing this. You know, it's been really cool to see that. And I have 2 daughters as well, so they've helped me the whole way through. So to see that not only is it helping me and is it helping the ladies in the group, but it's helping the people that we're helping, you know, it's helping my kids as well. And just giving people, you know, a greater sense of, you know, doing something for others. And, you know, a lot of times it doesn't have to be something big and an extravagant, you know, the smallest gestures go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been nice to see.
Yeah, totally. How did the Blue Jays find out about you?
One of the ladies in my group nominated me because we're on there. So, you know, if one of us buys a new t-shirt, we're posting the t-shirt and showing where we got it. And same with when they run all the contests and stuff through the Blue Jays, we're always posting like, hey, ladies, jump on this.
Yeah.
So one of the ladies in the group seen the MVP commercial, and she nominated me, and they, you had to sign a waiver before you could be nominated.
Right.
So she messaged me and she's like, you know, like this has you written all over it. And I was like, you know, by no means did I ever think I was going to win. So I was like, yeah, sure. No problem. You could sign me up. And I was like, you know, I'm just one little old person over here, you know, and just doing what I feel and what we all feel that we're able to do. And then when they said like, I won, I was like, what? Like it was just so crazy.
Extraordinary story. And of course, in winning, you got the joy of doing a ceremonial pitch, as you said a little bit earlier, on the last game of the season. How nervous were you for that moment?
You know what? It's weird because I'm always nervous until I get to the the Dome. Until I get there, and then something, it just always takes it away. So I had fun with it, and I'm a little bit of an oddball. I don't know if you've picked up on that yet, but
no, not at all.
Yeah. When I got there, I said to them, like, you know, is it okay if I have a little fun with this, or like, do we have to be super serious? So leading up to it, you know, we have a couple favorite pitchers in the group, and we like to watch them when they have fun and stuff. So I narrowed it down to 3 pitches.
Yeah.
I was either going to do it Adam Simber style, with the little dance before, or I was going to do the Jordan Romano squat, or I was going to do the Robbie Ray tight pant grunt. So me and my hubby went out to the ballpark and I practiced all 3 pitches, and the ladies in the group, they all voted. I'm like, all right, which one do you think I should do? And they were all like, yep, Simber.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I asked them, like, can you have fun? They're like, oh yeah, have fun with it. So I went out on the field and I did the little Adam Simber dance first and threw the ball, and it definitely was not down the middle of the plate. I was a little off, and Mesa dug it out. And it was just such a cool experience. Like,
yeah, you were very kind enough to send me the clip of you doing your pitch. So I was going to say to you about the Adam Simber. little dance before you threw your ball. And it's, I mean, I thought you looked like you were having a lot of fun, as you say, and I think it's great, isn't it? What a privilege to have that opportunity and to go into it and not be too nervous and just lap up the atmosphere of what's going on. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And I think having the best cheerleaders, because my ladies the whole time, they're like, you got this, you got this, you got this. And they're just so encouraging that, they really make you feel, I was like, okay, I got this. They say, I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
And that's just what the group has been about the entire time. And it's actually kind of funny because just the way, destiny works and the stars align sometimes. So after the game, a couple of us went out for dinner afterwards, and we were walking back to our car, and we're walking down the street, and all of a sudden Adam Simber walks right by us.
No way.
Walks right by us. So he was going one way on the street light, we were going the other, and by the time it had registered, he was just across the street. We had both been on the other side of the street, and I yelled, I'm like, Adam, I threw the first pitch today. And he stopped and he looked, and then we ran over across the street and he signed my ball for me. So it was pretty cool that I got the ball signed by him, and he chatted with us for a bit, and he was just so pleasant about the whole thing. And he was like, oh, me and the boys, we got a kick out of that one.
That's brilliant. Oh,
so it was the perfect ending.
Totally. I was going to say, particularly after, the lack of postseason baseball that wasn't going to happen, everybody going home in a slightly somber mood, to have that to finish off your day. What a fantastic moment. That's incredible.
It was really cool. It's really cool. And that's why we always kind of say, the baseball gods, sometimes they just have a plan, and the way things align and the way our group has come together and the way everything has just come about. It gives you, faith sometimes that, you just got to stick through the tough times, and there's good times ahead. And that as long as you're with the right team, win or lose, it doesn't really matter.
Totally. Very good. What are your plans for the group this year? Have you got any sort of projects that you're working towards or planning for?
So we always do, so Lady J, the other Lady J's, the real Lady J's, they always do a food drive in July. So we always take part in that. Last time we raised about just over $700 worth of food. So we'll definitely be doing the Lady J's food drive in July. And we always do a Christmas event. We do group games. So we have a group game planned right now for the July 2nd, Vladdy and Daddy bobblehead day.
Yeah, very nice.
So a bunch of us will all get together, and it's amazing because some of us have never even met in real life. Others of us, we met at one game, and we've gone to hundreds of games almost by now. So it's cool that every year it seems like, people get a little more comfortable. We get newer fans, and they come into the team and they fit in, and, so it makes the experience new every year. And it's fun, we do Christmas dinners, that kind of thing. So brilliant. It's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And do you have any sort of charity that if, somebody wanted to donate something to you to help with some of the causes that you're doing, is there anywhere they can sort of get in touch with you? How would that best work?
Well, they can always join the Lady J's fan club on Facebook and keep up with all the latest, because we always kind of try to do a revolving one, because there's so many of us from all over Canada, some all over the world. So we always kind of try to pick different cities to go around. So yeah, they can always definitely contact me, or the drawing a blank. The Jay's Care Foundation is also another great place to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the work that Jay's Care do is fantastic. And good friend of mine, Elizabeth, she's one of the sellers at Rogers Centre who works for them and selling the 50/50 tickets. So it's always good to see some of the work that those guys are doing. And as you say, it's right across Canada. It's not all based around Toronto or Ontario even. It's right across the country, which is brilliant to see. Crystal, I think you're doing an amazing job. I mean, just for somebody who's watches in from, from another country, and we hear all the sort of baseball news in terms of the team and all that sort of stuff. It absolutely warmed my heart when I heard your story and what you've done and what you're doing in terms of your community, and particularly in connecting these ladies together, and as I say, giving back to those who are in need around you. I mean, an absolute well done from this side of the pond to you. I think it's a fantastic story.
Thank you so much. I never thought we would be here. I just thought, okay, it's just gonna be this little group, and to see the way that it's all come together. It's like, I couldn't have planned that. I couldn't have written that. And, I couldn't have done it alone. So having them behind me and, giving me the encouragement that I need is definitely, it's helped me. And they always think that I'm the one helping them, but I'm like, you guys have helped me more than you'll ever know, because it really has given me an identity outside the home.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Now, before we let you go, and I'm conscious that you are really pushed for time, with all the guests I've had on this pod, we just do a quick fire last 10 questions, nothing too complicated, but love just to get your answers on these ones if you've got the time for it. So I've been asking who's your favorite player from 2021, but now we're into the new season. We're going to put that question to bed. So who are you most excited about seeing this year?
Most excited about?
Yeah.
Espinal.
Yes.
Espinal. Like, I know what the other guys can do. We knew Espinal could do what he's doing now, and it's just nice to see that he might finally have the opportunity to show what he can really do.
Of course, he started hot, hasn't he? He's got several RBIs already, or several hits, already, and he's definitely proving his worth in the team. So excited to see him. Who's your favorite Jays player of all time?
We're gonna have to go with Joe Carter.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the one memory as a kid I'll never forget. Touch them all, Joe. I'll remember that forever. And then Kevin Pillar.
And then Pilar was slightly behind him. Yeah, that's good. Now, when you're going to the Rogers Centre or Sky Dome, what's your favorite baseball food? What would you go for?
Well, they used to have a cauliflower poutine.
Oh,
that was amazing. Okay. And it was like deep fried cauliflower.
Yeah.
And had some cheese sauce and stuff on it. And it was so good. But COVID took that away from us. And so now I'm just going to have to say with the popcorn. You got to go with the popcorn.
Okay. So, so just go back to your cauliflower poutine. So that's presumably, would that come with gravy as well, as they would with fries and stuff?
It was actually a cheese sauce.
Oh, cheese sauce. Okay.
So it was kind of a different play on it. We haven't done any of the. Yes. So, it made you feel like it was healthy because it's cauliflower, but really it was deep fried, so it tasted great with beer.
Very good. Okay. What would your favorite drink be with your popcorn now? What would you go for?
Rainbow Twist.
Oh, go on. What's that?
It is like a cooler. So it's a fruity, girly beverage. And it tastes like, I don't know if you have them there, but they're like red, white, and blue popsicles.
Okay. We should have got that as our drink.
Tastes like popsicle. It's delicious.
Oh, okay. Right. Excellent. I'm going to look that up next time I come. Okay. Day game or night game?
Night. Friday nights under the lights.
Okay. Very good.
Definitely.
Excellent. Favorite Jays jersey color?
Baby blue.
Okay, you like that? Yeah, you wore that for your ceremonial pitch, didn't you? I noticed.
I did, and it's lucky. And the boys seem to be lucky. When they wear the baby blue, they always. I'm not going to say it, but
Yeah. Interesting. They've only worn the whites and the greys so far this year, which I thought, that's interesting. I've not even seen the royal blue. I don't know why they've done that, but it's just interesting. They've only gone for the whites and the greys so far. We'll see what happens tonight. What jersey number would you go for? What would your
11?
11. Okay, Mr. Pilar.
11. Yeah. Pilar, Bo's 11. My daughter was also born at 11/11.
Okay.
I just have a thing with 11.
Yeah. No, that's okay. That's good to know. And finally, roof open or roof closed?
Open. Definitely open.
So night game open, that's your absolute preference. Sitting
Yes,
under the
night
CN
game.
tower and lights. Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Very good. Brilliant. Crystal, as I say, thank you so much for spending some time. I really do appreciate in the middle of your day when you're running around trying to do 101 things, just giving me a little bit of time tonight. Been really, really fun to talk to you and to hear your story. And as I say, if you ever come over to the UK, please let us know. Love to say hello to you in person.
Awesome. Will do. And thanks so much for all that you're doing over there to bring the Blue Jays love.
Thank you so much. It's been great. Yeah, no, it's cool. We love doing what we're doing, and it's great to talk to people with all sorts of different stories, all sorts of different backgrounds. And, you know, part of my heart and passion behind this podcast is actually connecting people together. So I really felt when I saw your story, it had some similar parallels in terms of what we're trying to do here. So really appreciate that. And guys, on that note, if you'd like to get in touch with me, please give me a call, drop me a line. Love to chat to you and hear some of your Blue Jays stories. But until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.
The Red, White, and Blue Jays podcast is a production of Blue Jays Fans UK. If you've got a Blue Jays story to share, let us know. Email us at bluejaysfansuk@gmail.com. And follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Blue Jays Fans UK. I'm your announcer, Jim Langton. Thanks for listening.